Here are the 5 mythological creatures in Greek myth part 3. In Greek mythology, the Gorgons were depicted as having sharp teeth and claws, and were said to be so terrifying that even the gods were afraid of them. They were often portrayed as living in remote and inaccessible places, such as the cliffs of the ocean or the caves of the underworld, and were said to be difficult to defeat. Despite their fearsome reputation, however, the Gorgons were also revered as powerful and mysterious creatures, and were sometimes invoked in rituals and spells for protection and strength. In addition to Medusa, 2 other Gorgons were commonly mentioned in Greek mythology, Stheno and Uriel. Like Medusa, these sisters were said to be immortal and could not be defeated by any mortal, but were eventually slain by the gods. Sirens were female creatures in Greek mythology who were known for their seductive and enchanting songs. They were said to live on an island near the coast of Greece and to sing songs so beautiful that they lured sailors to their deaths. The sirens were often depicted as half-bird, half-human creatures, and their songs were said to be so irresistible that even the gods were said to have been charmed by them. One of the most famous stories involving the sirens is that of the hero Odysseus. According to legend, Odysseus was warned about the dangers of the sirens by the sorceress Circe and was told to plug the ears of his crew with wax so that they would not be lured by the siren songs. Odysseus, however, was curious and wanted to hear the songs for himself, so he had his crew tie him to the mast of the ship so that he could listen but not be lured to his death. Nymphs were minor female deities in Greek mythology, associated with nature and the natural world. They were said to inhabit specific places in the wilderness, such as forests, rivers, and mountains, and were often depicted as beautiful and graceful. Nymphs were considered to be divine spirits and were said to have great powers over nature. They were also considered to be protectors of their particular domains, and were sometimes invoked in rituals and spells for protection and fertility. There were many different types of nymphs in Greek mythology, each associated with different aspects of nature. For example, there were Dryads, nymphs of the trees, Naiads, nymphs of the rivers, and Oreads, nymphs of the mountains. In addition to their role as protectors of nature, nymphs were also known for their association with love and beauty. They were often depicted as the companions of gods and heroes, and were sometimes said to have had romantic relationships with them. Dryads were female nature spirits in Greek mythology. They were associated with trees and forests, and were believed to inhabit individual trees, protecting and caring for them. Dryads were considered to be the guardians of the forest and were thought to be closely connected to the natural world. According to Greek myth, Dryads were born from the earth and lived in the forests. They were said to be incredibly beautiful and were often depicted as nymphs, with long flowing hair and delicate features. In Greek mythology, Pegasus was also said to have played a role in the creation of the constellation of the same name. According to one myth, Pegasus was created by the god Poseidon, who used his trident to strike a rock and create a spring. Pegasus then flew up to the heavens, where he was placed among the stars by Zeus. Pegasus was also considered a symbol of divine inspiration and was said to have played a role in the Muses' creation of poetry and music. It was believed that the sight of Pegasus flying through the sky could inspire artists and writers to create great works of art. The mythical creature of the Pegasus has been depicted in many different ways over the centuries. In some depictions, it is shown as a horse with wings, while in others it is shown as a more fantastical creature with a horse-like body and a dragon-like head.